What's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and I've got 5 bands to recommend for fans of Converge. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, first up we've got Indianapolis trio Olam, which is short for Of Lions and Men. Olam's 2019 record, I Will Guide Thy Hand, was one of those rare underground gems that remind me of why I started Metal Trenches in the first place. Representing a lyrical and musical journey through a traumatic experience, the album is this counselor metalhead's wet dream. Seriously, no hyperbole, it gives me the same thrills as my first listens of Jane Doe and You Fail Me, and in equal parts melodic and thoughtful as it is sharp and abrasive. The faster bits drag you over the broken glass of jagged, angular guitar riffs before dipping into even more piercing sorrow of tracks like Under My Breath and Razor Blades Adds Neckties. As someone who has worked professionally with trauma for the better part of a decade, I feel that Olam have put to music a feeling of anxiety, doubt, confusion, and loss of control that is often veiled by words alone. Be sure to check out and follow Olam, and if you want to hear more about the very real mental health-based foundations of this record, give their podcast interview episode a listen as well. Next, we have Stockholm, Sweden's Godmother. Godmother already hit the underground scene pretty hard with 2015's Machtbehav, but if that was the fuse, 2017's Vilseledd was the explosion. While the music of Godmother is already impressively fast and plenty abrasive, there's also a certain order flowing through the technical proficiency of the instruments. Put simply, it's a little bit more 43% burnt than Gravedancer, which further clarifies why it caught the attention of the Dillinger Escape Plan's Ben Weinman and his Party Smasher label. In addition to crafting very concise blasts of aggression with each track, Godmother bring the same compositional mastery to the album as a whole. At 14 songs in 30 minutes, Vilseledd is lean and mean, avoiding common sins of either bloating with filler or leaving the listener unfulfilled. Furthermore, the pacing is solid with plenty of ups and downs. I think this recommendation is best closed with the words of Mr. Weinman himself. After 20 years of touring the world and playing thousands of shows with thousands of bands, it is hard to impress me, but Sweden has done it again. Godmother is an undeniable force majeure that demands attention like bands did in the old days by just being that fucking good. Torch officially passed. Alright, I caught wind of Denmark's Eglise completely by chance, and I gotta tell you, life wouldn't have been complete without them. If you yearn for more dark, extreme-sounding mathcore, your search is over. Noisy, abrasive, and infectious. These are the words that describe their self-titled 2016 debut. It's We Are Romans meets You Fail Me. Eglise is the sound your mind makes when pushed to the edge, a swan dive into a cathartic, blissful abyss. There's something so icy about the guitar tone and production, it's like a shirtless mosh pit on blood-spattered snow. Discordant, screeching waves of technical groove wash over you while the equally math-driven drums calculate infinity in binary, complemented by the sounds of absolutely tortured venomous wails. Sadly, just a year after, the band hung it up with the appropriately titled Burial, but at least we got even more great tunes out of it. A bittersweet collection of top-quality mathcore with a name-your-own-price tag, I might add. I'm just happy to share the impact that they left on me with all of you watching right now. Then we have Meraine out of Ludenscheid, Germany. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. There is just something markedly different between European hardcore versus North American hardcore. It's a little noisier, a little darker, and vastly colder in approach. Meraine fit this bill quite well. Similar to Eglise, everything about their sound makes me want to reach for a jacket. No studio could produce this sound. Clearly their debut was recorded on some dark, lonely, frostbitten expanse further north. And their post-hardcore screams just have such sheer venom behind them. With simple yet highly expressive one-word titles like Entropy and Marrow, much meaning is conveyed as harshly and concisely as possible. Similarly, the music milks the heck out of mostly 2 to 3 minute tracks with both technical showmanship and tight songwriting, and yet they pull off the occasional atmospheric 5 to 6 minute ones just as well. I think this album also sadly flew under most people's radars in 2017, but if you like that raunchy fusion of really bitter hardcore styles in the vein of Converge, but with a more European twist, Meraine is a band that you should know. I only hope that we get to hear more from them in the future. And last but not least, we have Sweden's Snake Tongue. Once again, I am not at all surprised to find that Converge's own Kurt Ballou actually played an essential part in mixing their 2016 album Raptor's Breath. This album actually had a lot of Converge meets Norma Jean flair to it, with the title track not wasting a moment getting down to business, and easily could have fit on Meridional with its killer intro of rumbling mathy bass and minimalist drumming to match the pace. That's not to mention the squealing guitar hook and explosions of headbanging chaos, and a healthy dose of Jacob Bannon's tortured vocal inflection. Some tracks are utter mathcore violence like Postmortem Spasma and Alter, others are more straightforward blink and you'll miss it blasts of hardcore like In Stone and Death Dance. And staying true to their peers, there's also the occasional slower sludgy moment. Snake Tongue followed this up with the equally powerful 2019 EP No Escape, No Excuse, really playing up the crust elements and dropping any of the previous Norma Jean allusions in favor of something even more raw and aggressive. Tracks like Dystopian Slumber are brimming with enough ripping hooks and sweaty D-beats to insta-kill an entire legion of hardcore kids. And that's it, y'all. 5 bands I think you'll absolutely love if you enjoy you some Converge. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite, which bands I missed, and also your favorite Converge album. Also, let me know if you want to do a part 2, because I have other recommendations out there. And hey, stick around, because I got plenty more videos coming right after this one. If you enjoyed this topic, you may also be interested in the bands like the Dillinger Escape Plan and Every Time I Die list. But I've also got full album reviews for new releases, album tier lists, and interviews with bands on the podcast. You can also chat with us on Discord and support us on Patreon. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.